Morning. Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Thursday, January 11th, and we are here to look at the new releases that are coming out this week. And on Thursdays, we look at fantasy science fiction. We have to know what's out there in order to add to our TBRs. Because possession is 9/10 of the enjoyment. We've got a hair. Hang on a second. There it is. All right. I hope you guys had a good night. It is very, very cold here in Montana and going to get colder through the weekend. So, wearing of long johns, multiple layers. Got to be smart about that. All right, let's see. Announcements Thursday. So, we do have sprints tonight. They are at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern. And bring your own book. It goes for 2.5 hours. Or if you want to work on a project or just close your eyes after a hard day, all things are acceptable because it's time carved out for you. So let's jump into the new releases. Let's first go to the big ones I'm seeing everywhere. So first of all, there is Sanctuary of the Shadow by Aurora Asher. This is a fantasy romance. Enter at your own risk and discover the greatest show on earth in this explosive, darkly imaginative debut fantasy. For humans, the circus is a place filled with wonder and amazement. For Harrow, though, it's a place to hide from those who slaughtered her entire clan. Disguising her abilities as part of her act has kept her true identity safe for years, until he arrives. A strange new attraction with no name, no memory of who or even what he is, let alone an explanation for his odd yet deadly powers. But beneath the layers of anger and isolation, one glimpse into his inky eyes reveals a soul that calls out to the loneliness in her own, and so she chooses him. Harrow is drawn to the darkness in her insatiable need to soothe the beast who threatens their very existence. But with every secret she unlocks from his past, another from hers whispers free as well, luring enemies who will stop at nothing to get their final revenge on Harrow. And she's afraid she's given them the perfect weapon against her because he's not what he seems. But maybe it's time to finally learn. Neither is she. Circus is a common trope now in fantasy romance, probably because of Caraval. All right, let's go back to this one. Mislaid in Parts Half Known. This is a novella by Shannon McGuire, big name. Nancy is the latest student to pass through the doors at Eleanor West's School for Wayward Children. When the school's literally irresistible mean girl realizes that Nancy's talent for finding absolutely anything may extend to doors, Nancy is forced to flee in the company of a small group of friends looking for a way back to the shop where the lost things go, all in caps, to be sure that Vanetta and Hudson are keeping their promise. Along the way, they will travel from a world which hides painful memories that cut as sharply as its beauty, to a land that time wasn't yet old enough to forget, and more than one student's life will change forever. Is a story that reminds us that getting what you want doesn't always mean finding what you need. Hello, Rolling Stones. They've said this for decades. Sons of Darkness by Gaurav Mohanty. This is a straight fantasy, it says. Led dry by violent confrontations with the Magadhan Empire, the Mathuran Republic simmers on the brink of oblivion. Senator Krishna and his third wife, Satyabhama, have put their plans in motion, both within and beyond the Republic's blood-soaked borders, to protect it from total annihilation. But they are soon to discover that neither gold nor alliances last forever, and that they are not the only players on the board. Maddie, Pirate Princess of Kalinga. Did we look at this already? has decided to mend her ways and become a good wife, but old habits die hard, especially when one habitually uses murder to settle old scores. Brooding and beautiful Karna hopes to bury his brutal past, but finds that destiny is a miser when it comes to granting second chances. Hero turns torturer Sakuni limps through a path of daggers. Meanwhile, his foes and woes multiply, leaving little time for vengeance. Their lives are about to become yet more difficult as a cast of sinister queens, naive kings, pious assassins, and ravenous priests are converging where the sun of darkness is prophesied to rise, even as forgotten gods prepare to play their hand. That Kalinga name sounded very familiar to me. Tarmush, in translation sci-fi by Sven Holm. Turmush. At this resort, the real luxury is safety. With an introduction by Jeff Vandermeer, Scandinavian fiction is a searing and prophetic study of humanity forced into a moral bind through its own doing. Tormush, copies required, caters to every need of its wealthy patrons. First among them, a coveted spot at this exclusive seaside getaway, a resort designed for the end of the world. Everyone within its walls has been promised full protection from the after effects of the disaster. The staff work behind the scenes to create a calming and frictionless mood. They pipe soothing music into the halls and quickly remove the dead birds that fall out of the sky. But the specter of death remains. Recon teams come and go in protective gear. Fear of contamination spreads as a hotel cautiously welcomes survivors, only to then censor news of their arrival. As the days pass, the veneer of control begins to crack, and it becomes clear that the residents of Termush can insulate themselves from neither the physical effects of the cataclysm nor the moral fallout of using their wealth to separate themselves from the fate of those trapped inside. Very millennial. This is the other big one I'm seeing everywhere, the Atlas Complex, third in the Atlas series by Olivia Blake. It's a conclusion to the trilogy. Only extraordinary are chosen, only the cunning survive. An explosive return to the library leaves the six Alexandrians vulnerable to the lethal terms of their recruitment. Old alliances quickly fracture as the initiates take opposing strategies as to how to deal with the deadly bargain they have so far failed to uphold. Those who remain with the archives wrestle with the ethics of their astronomical abilities, while elsewhere an unlikely pair from the society cohort partner to influence from the society cohort partner to society cohort maybe partner to influence politics on a global stage. And still the outside world mobilizes to destroy them, while the caretaker himself, Atlas Blakely, may yet succeed with a plan foreseen to have world-ending stakes. It's a race to survive as the six society recruits are faced with the question of what they're willing to betray for limitless power and who will be destroyed along the way. The Jinn Waits 100 Years by Subnam Khan. Oh, interesting. They're referencing Rebecca and the House of Spirits. Atmospheric novel about a ruined mansion by the sea, the jinn that haunts it, and a curious girl who unearths the tragedy that happened there 100 years previous. Akbar Manzil was once a grand estate off the coast of South Africa. Now, nearly a century since it was built, it stands in ruins, an isolated boarding house for misfits, seeking to forget their past and disappear into the mansion's dark corridors. Hello, apostrophe. Until Sana. She and her father are the latest of Akbar Manzil's long list of tenants seeking a new home after suffering painful loss. Unlike the others who choose not to look too closely at the mansion's unsettling qualities, the strange assortment of bones in the overgrown garden, the mysterious figures seen to move sometimes at night, she is curious and questioning and finds herself irresistibly drawn to the history of the mansion, to the eerie and forgotten East Wing, home to a clutter of broken abandoned objects, and 2, the locked door at its end unopened for decades. Behind the door is a bedroom frozen in time with faded photographs of a couple in love and a worn diary that whispers of a dark past, the long forgotten story of a young woman named Mina, the original owner's second wife, who died there tragically 100 years ago. Watching Santa from the room's shadows is a grieving Jinn, an invisible spirit who once loved Mina and has haunted the mansion since her mysterious death. Obsessed with Mina's story and unaware of the creature that follows her, Santa digs into the past like fingers into a wound, awakening the memories of the house itself and dredging up old and terrible secrets that will change the lives of everyone living and dead. Akbar Manzil. Fantasy slash horror, I would say. This one looked like a middle grade. Lulu Sinatalia Tala and the City of Noble Warriors. This is the first book in a duology by Gail de Villanueva. Lulu Sinatalia can't wait for a fun Christmas break. She's excited to hang out with her sister, Kitty, and best friend Bart to reenact her favorite legends from Tagalog folklore, like the amazing tale of Bernardo Carpio, and, of course, to eat as much yummy street side iniha as possible. But when a vicious whack attacks her neighborhood and kidnaps Mom, Lulu discovers the creature and deities of Tagalog myth are real and that 2 additional realms exist beyond our own. To make it worse, Lulu has superhuman strength and the ability to wield magic, meaning she's the only one powerful enough to stop the evil spirit, who's determined to rule the 3 realms at all cost. No pressure, right? The recipe for a charmed life. Let's double check the date. Yep. By Rachel Linden. Oh, we saw that one already. And this was last week. I think this one was last week. We'll double check. Nope, we're good. All right. The Glass Box by J. Michael Straczynski. A big name. Riley Diaz was born to fight back. When she's incarcerated under the authority of a shadowy new Defense Act, Riley is sent to one of a growing number of America's renewal centers, ARCs, institutions modeled after psychiatric facilities for mandatory re-education. Forced therapy, involuntary medication, solitary confinement, restricted rations, and more are all in the ARC program's bag of dirty tricks designed to break down dissidents. Give in and you go free. Resist and Riley declares a one-woman war against the gaslighting and manipulation in a struggle to take down the ARC program and its white-coated collaborators. Despite being isolated and resented by her fellow inmates, Riley eventually wins their trust and forms a heartfelt life-and-death bond with a mysterious patient known only as Frankenstein, who is as enigmatic as his namesake. Sometimes breaking an unjust system starts with one person willing to stand up, when standing is the hardest thing in the world, and saying no. Riley Diaz is willing to stand behind that word regardless of the cost in order to put her fist through the glass box once and for all. Split. Let's double check the date. This was last week. Tausetti. This one's good, as in date. All right, by George Hahn, part of the Library Ship saga, 9 books. A ship from Earth is coming, but not what they expect. Patrick and Susan have enjoyed a relatively peaceful life on the colony of Tau Ceti 2, 12 light years from Earth. However, everything changes when the starship Asimov arrives. Asimov is unlike any other ship that has graced the Tau Ceti colony in the past, and when it announces a new project, a groundbreaking device called a link, designed to facilitate faster than light communication between the colony and Earth, eliminating the isolating 12-year message delay, Susan volunteers to assist. Well, this is interesting so far. Susan discovers that the library ship, designed to house all of Earth's knowledge, was programmed to keep much of its knowledge from the colonists, information that could help grow the colony. Forbidden knowledge and hidden truths become a problem. The forbidden knowledge, once revealed, is the key to growing the colony, but the hidden truths threaten that growth. Many among the colonists are suspicious of Earth's intentions. More immediately is the other colony settlement, the Ellis Research Station, 200 miles from Grissom, supporting Earth's plans. Can they uncover Earth's endgame amid Asimov's vast archives, or will they become pawns in a battle that forever alters the colony's future? First novel in the library ship saga, and it's Kindle Unlimited. I'm intrigued. This has me. Okay. This is supposed to be science fiction. 13 Ways to Kill Lulabelle Rock by Maud Wolfe. A washed up star creates a clone tasked with eliminating other clones of herself. For fans of Orphan Black, Killing Eve, and Keeping It Real. Her purpose is to track down and eliminate her predecessors. Simple, right? In the glitz and glamour of Bubble City, even a washed up film star simply has too much to do, too many places to be. Thank heavens for clones. Lulabelle Rock has 12 doing the tiresome celebrity rounds. But times have changed. You can have too much of a good thing. And time is up for the 12 Lulabelles. A 13th clone, an assassin, is created. Killing yourselves should be easy. We're talking clones, not people. It's not murder, not really. But love has a way of complicating things. That is a very interesting topic. Deception by L.M. Sims. Let's check the date. Yep, we're good. First in the Syntech series. Instead of waking up in his synthetic body, Alfred's mind is trapped in virtual reality, but his synthetic body has gone home. Someone has stolen his life. Alfred quickly discovers he is far from alone. Countless others are suffering the same fate. Who stole their bodies and why? Boundaries between friend and foe are blurred, and it's impossible to tell human from artificial intelligence. Alfred must rely on his wits and join forces with a mysterious hacker whose motives remain shrouded in secrecy, but he'll do whatever it takes to escape. Alfred uncovers a truth that was supposed to remain secret about the very people he had trusted with his life. Every revelation peels back another layer of deception. Will he get his body back, or will he be trapped in virtual reality forever? Interesting. Definitely a possibility with AIs. You never know. All right, let's check this last one out before time runs out to see if there's any stray sci-fi fantasy. Deep freeze. Double check the date. We're good. By Michael G. Grumley, the Revival Series, Book 1. The accident came quickly with no warning. In the dead of night, a precipitous plunge into a freezing river trapped everyone inside the bus. It was then that Army veteran John Rife's life came to an end, extinguished in the sudden rush of frigid water. There was no expectation of survival, none, let alone waking up beneath blinding hospital lights, struggling to move or see or even breathe. But the doctors assure him that everything is normal, that things will improve. And yet he has a strange feeling that there's something they're not telling him. As Reef's mind and body gradually recover, he becomes certain that the doctors are lying to him. One by one, puzzle pieces are slowly falling into place, and he soon realizes that things are not all what they seem. Critical information is being kept from him, secrets, supposedly for his own good. But who is doing this? Why? And the most important question, can he keep himself alive long enough to uncover the truth? And it has got amazing endorsements. I don't know. That one might not be my cup of. We're looking, we're looking. Oh, see, they listed horror here. That one we did. Uh, that one we did. That one we did. That one we did. All right, we are caught up. Fantastic. And just in time, the bell is about to ring. Hope you guys have a good Thursday. Tonight there are we do have sprints unless something happens. We've got a medical situation in my family. If something happens and that needs to be canceled, I would let you know. But so far, we're going to be having it. It's at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern. After that, our next sprints are on Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern, and that goes for 5 hours. Tomorrow, we'll be looking at more historical mysteries for the Midwinter Hist Mist Readathon that I'm sponsoring. I hope if you are participating, you are liking what you're reading. It is my favorite subgenre. But in the meantime, everybody, as I mentioned, it's cold here in Montana. Wherever you are, I hope you are warm, you are safe, you're reading good books. And if you're not reading a good book, I give you permission to set it down. It's okay. It's just not the right time. It's not a reflection of the author or the book. It's just a matter of timing. So you'll come back to it later, but reading should be enjoyable. And as the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom, nom, nom. Have a good day. God